up? Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back to the New Digs with Spitting Fire. James and Jeffrey here.
Trying some new things out.
Just to have another discussion with you. We'll break right into it. We've been wondering, with the trade of David Accam, where exactly the secondary scoring is going to come from on this team. Now, David Accam was the second leading goal scorer with 14 goals, and he was the leading assister with 8. We did bring in Aleksandar Katai, a winger, to replace him. However, they are different players.
Oh, yeah.
One's more of a speedster in David, and one's more of a
inside
dribbler,
forward,
creative inside forward in Katai.
Mm-hmm.
Where's our secondary scoring going to come from this year?
So, last year we had two-headed monster, right? We had Nico and we had Accam. And so, that's where all our offense really came from. So they were obviously the top two in goals. Nico, I believe, had 24. Accam had 14.
Golden Boot winner.
Surprisingly, Lucho had 7. Okay, and then after that, it was a big drop-off. MDL and Basti tied with 4th on the team with 3 goals.
Speaking of MDL, he had a significant drop-off from the production that he had posted the previous year, when I think he posted around 8 to 10 goals in his first season, even though he did come in late.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He came in the June window, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, so anyway, our offense is going to look much different next year. And This year, and so Nico's still here, Akam's gone, and here comes Aleksandar Katai. So, the question is, we're not going to get too much on what is the difference is going to be on the pitch. We're more so just going to talk about just the potential of goal scoring. So, Aleksandar Katai, he had one 20-goal season with, Red Star?
Red Star Belgrade over in Russian Premier League.
And that was it. And, that's really been it for his career. I know he was at Olympiacos. He struggled there. Then he went
over to La Liga, and that's where we eventually got him from. Aleves, I'm not sure how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
But all the same, he struggled over there to the point where we were able to pick him up, quote-unquote, off the scrap heap for a cheap loan, which it does look at the moment like he's trying to play to stay.
Yeah, and so we're not trying to, say that he might not produce, but when you look at the past and you see some red flags.
He's being dependent upon.
It's not like when you brought Nico in. When you brought Nico in and you saw his track record, a couple Golden Boots, 20-goal seasons, you're like, all right, I know exactly what I'm getting here. With Katai, it is a little bit of a question mark, and not only that, we alluded to it earlier with Lucho, but Lucho had 7 goals last year. Credit to him. He did it in limited minutes. It's not like he was, a bona fide starter the whole season, but can he repeat that? So what do you think about that, James?
I'm not so sure about Lucho repeating. Lucho is known to miss some grade A chances, and if he was able to actually pot those, he'd have so many more goals and even assists. He does have his flashes, though. Albeit, the other question, 8 assists from David Accam from the wing.
Yep.
Who's going to replace that? Is Daniel Johnson? Is Katai? Or do we have somebody potentially coming in the future that could potentially replace that? Other the likes of a Zlatan, but more like a Robin, Arjun Robin, who would be probably a better fill on that wing.
Well, so, it sounds like what we're saying here is it's got to be Nico. Nico's got to be the primary goal scorer. It's got to be Katai. Katai's got to be number 2 with goals and assists. And then after that, it's got to be a healthy...
You got question marks.
It's got to be a healthy... Well, let me rephrase this. You got to get help from the young guys. You got to get help from Bakero. I know Bakero, I believe he's had, I have it written down here, he had 37 goals and 88 appearances in college. So, he had some, he was prolific down there. So
also has a world-class soccer playing father who played for Barcelona.
Yep.
So a little bit of the blood in there.
And then compare that with Collier. I know he's a hot topic right now. He's produced, he's done well, and we'll see. Maybe he'll get in the starting lineup again, but... Over his career at Loyola, by the way, ramble on.
Go Rambles.
15 goals, 11 assists, and 69 appearances. So
not as productive.
Not as productive, but again, that doesn't mean that he won't be a productive MLS striker.
Interestingly, him and Bakero, both 6-foot specimens, big guys.
Big guys. Huge.
Increased our height dramatically this season. Last year, we were a very short team, up and down the middle. This year, with the addition of those guys, and even guys like Lillard, who's also 6'3", we finally had some height that is sorely needed, even with Chani as well.
Chani. So, we got Bakero, Collier, Lucho, Katai. So, that's where the secondary scoring has to come from, and also Basti.
A lot of unproven.
You think Basti could, get more than 3 goals next year. But, when you say those names, James, how confident are you that they can, provide the secondary scoring?
I'm not confident. We have a lot of unproven talent here. Talent that we're really depending on to take a step forward this season right now.
Yep.
Right now we're depending on this. Like we're here. We're at the
Yep.
point already. It's not even like in the future. The future's here. So they got to start doing something. And hopefully Daniel Johnson could force himself onto the field a little bit more. Hopefully even Campbell can get it on the field a little bit more. I was a little disappointed in the way he was deployed last year. Didn't really seem like he was part of the plans. More of a backup. But if that's his role going forward, still, that's a serviceable backup.
Well, James, let me ask you this. So, what are some potential outside solutions?
Well, as previously mentioned, I did mention Robin, who is going to be available for on a free transfer later this season, but we still got to get through a World Cup. Netherlands is not going, so we don't have to worry about with Robin. However, him being an injury-prone player, 34 years old, you want to make sure you're getting the bang for your buck, which also brings me the idea of Lee Win, who has been floated as a cam as a possible solution. Now, he's 31 years old, and sorry to say, his class versus Robin's class, it's apples to oranges because Robin is a world-class player and has been and still is.
But
Lee Win is very good.
Lee Win, a very good Lee Win might be all that we need. So
for this season.
If you imagine we have Nico producing like he did, Katai producing similarly, to a Calm. Lucho does what he does, and then you have Win, and he provides some secondary scoring and some of those assist totals back.
Much more reliable.
So that does it's definitely a piece to the puzzle that Chicago Fire needs. So
it diffuses the responsibility of scoring a lot more, and he will facilitate things more. Yep. So on the one hand, you're right. Win is not a terrible bad shot, but if we're looking to build for the future, we already have a Basti, we already have a Dax, we already have a couple guys that are already in their 30s. And do we want to keep weighing these guys down with a Win who's 31 at the tail end of his career, maybe has a couple good years left, decent years? He's going to produce in MLS. He's a proven MLS producer. Mm-hmm. However, does Robin at 34 produce better? Do you get a longer bang for your buck of a world-class echelon type of player versus what Win brings you? Or do you even look for a player like an Almiron who's maybe still out there somewhere? Maybe the magical Enganche fairy tree has yet to be found.
Yeah, so I guess those are some of our thoughts, on the secondary scoring and Chicago Fire and who's going to be the goal scorer. So just let us know what you guys think. As always, we love the comments, the suggestions and everything like that. And let us know who you think is going to be scoring or whatever is on your mind.
That's it. So, and thanks for supporting. And we'll see you guys later. Give us a like if you like what you saw. I guess. All right, have a good one.
All right, see you guys
later, cameraman.